Mr. Speaker.
I call Honi Hauera.
Hono hei kōlero tuatahi e te kaiwaka wā me mihi au ki a tari ana, rau ko pita e heke mai ana I o rau ake tūranga I tēnei wā. I te mea ko rau ngā tokorua e arahi I a Māo ko Teururua, rota I te whare I te timatanga o te Pāti Māori, nā rau e awhi I a Māo ki a tai mai ki tēnei wā, ko tumua ki a Teururua ki tōna pāti, ko hau anoki, no reira mihi atu ki a koe e tari ana, kōrua ko pita. Tu atu ki tō tāua nei panaunga Teururua, a tau, aroha mai ara, a tau e puta atu ana I te whare, mihi atu ki a koe anoki e te tuahine e Cloret, hakua hanga tūkino ana koe I taku pire, hoino, he tuahine tonu ki a mātau o te ao Māori no reire tikana ki mihi atu ki a koe. Huri tū ki a tātou anōra e te whare, wā tātou kaimahi hako ko te hea te pāti, ko wai te tangata, me mihi atu ki a rātou katoa, tēnā koutou, huri atu, huri noa, ki ora tātou katoa. Mr. Speaker, it'd be nice to be able to say that for all the differences between Mana and this national coalition government, that the last 3 years had seen our country come out of the global financial crisis with a positive attitude and an increased capacity to rock and roll, but that'd be a lie. There have been increases, of course, but not across the board, and not in ways which signal a rebuilding of society and an improvement in opportunity for everyone. Sure, there have been increases at the highest echelons of our society, spectacular increases in the levels of wealth accumulated by the richest 1% of people in the country, an increase in the salaries earned by CEOs and corporate directors, an increase in the gap between the rich and the poor, an increase in funding for National's holiday highways, but a cut in funding for the maintenance of local roads every year for the past 6 years in regional areas like Northland, and an increase in extractive and environmentally destructive industries like deep-sea oil and toxic land mining, and a lowering of safety standards in primary industries like mining and forestry. But when we look at the wider population, Mr. Speaker, Māori, Pasifika, and more often Tauiwi as well, we are seeing increases in all the wrong places. An increase in unemployment, an increase in the number of people earning less than the average wage, an increase in the number of people leaving for jobs overseas, an increase in inequality, an increase in child poverty, an increase in homelessness, an increase in the numbers of children hospitalised with poverty-related illnesses and diseases, an increase in the educational achievement gap between kids in low and high decile schools, an increase in the numbers of people in prison. I could go on, Mr. Speaker, but you know the story. Such is the carnage for those at the bottom of society, and such will be the legacy of this government and its coalition partners. And the truly sad part, Mr. Speaker, is that life does not need to be like that, not for anyone in this country. We live in the greatest country in the world. We have the talent, the resources, the time and the space to be world leaders in whatever it is we choose to do. And when I say, and I often say it, happy are those who dream dreams and are prepared to pay the price to make those dreams come true. It's because I truly believe that we actually have the capacity to make those dreams come true. But the question is, why should feeding the kids be something we dream about? Why should anyone think that living in a warm and decent home is nothing but a dream? And why do people think that full employment is the impossible dream? Because Mana sees all of those not only as possibilities, but as distinct realities. We now have the support of our colleagues in Internet Mana to ensure people understand how real those ideals can be. Feeding the kids through a comprehensive food in schools program already has the support of Labour, the Greens, New Zealand First and the Māori Party. 10,000 state houses a year for those on low incomes is our policy, but it's already been taken up, in part at least, by Labour, and dovetails comfortably with some of the more innovative housing ideas from the Greens. And there's no reason why we can't backstop a strong, government-driven home building program with community jobs for the unemployed all around the country, in hospitals, in schools, on marae, around old people's homes, and anywhere else where we can help rebuild people's self-esteem while preparing them for jobs in the private sector. We know we have the support of most New Zealanders to stop the TPPA, to repeal the GCSB legislation, and to take back the power by nationalising the electricity companies and making them core assets never to be sold again. And we also know that unless we provide a free tertiary education for our kids, we will continue to get what we've already got, the loss of all that intellectual capital as our kids head off overseas in pursuit of jobs to pay off their loans, meet somebody, start a family, build a new group of friends, and then never come home again. And because I know you're asking yourselves the question, I can tell you that when somebody in the standing room only audience at our public meeting in Rotorua on Tuesday night also asked a question about how we might pay for all of those promises, it was the richest guy in the room who took the microphone and asked the questions that other seriously rich people are also asking, like, why is it that people can make millions on the stock market and pay no tax on it at all? Why aren't banks paying a financial transaction tax on the billions of dollars that they transfer from place to place in search of profit? Why do we allow uber-rich people to buy very expensive homes, cars, helicopters and yachts and not pay a luxury tax for the privilege? And why is government spending so much on roads and yacht races and so little on ordinary people? You see, Mr. Speaker, our policies are based on the belief that by backing ourselves to lift everyone in Aotearoa to a place where we can all be positive contributors to our society, where healthy families are the norm, where every child can learn because they're all well fed, where free education is normal, where warm homes are a standard, where jobs are plentiful, where everybody pays their share to achieve those goals, and where Parliament accepts that the only legislation worth passing is that which passes the test of first being good to our tamariki and our mokopuna, then and only then will we be able to make those dreams come true. And of course, realising those dreams will require more than just internet mana believing we can achieve them. It will mean us working with others as well, which we're more than happy to do. But as to who we would work after the election, well, as a matter of principle, we won't be working with National for the very simple reason that no government since World War II has created so much inequality, so much hardship, and so much poverty for so many people in such a short time as this national government and its coalition partners. And while David Cunliffe says a cabinet position in a Labour-led government for internet mana is unlikely, if, as John Armstrong of the New Zealand Herald said, with Labour's woes intensifying and their support bleeding away, there's a good chance that internet mana could be hovering around the 5% level by the time the official campaign gets underway. Believe you me, internet mana will be getting a call. And while I'm talking about other parties, here's a short comment for those who have already pulled the race card on mana. Grow up. It's the oldest trick in the book, bashing Māori at election time to boost your voter appeal, but it's also the ugliest. You do yourselves a disservice by stooping to such levels, and you insult the intelligence of the voting public by inviting them to sup from your well of poisonous racism. And the fact that mana actually has more non-Māori candidates than Māori ones has obviously slipped your minds. But you know what they say, don't ever let the facts get in the way of a good story, especially a good racist story. Mind you, the fact that internet mana is playing to packed houses and community halls all around the country, while nobody else has the courage to put themselves out there for the public to see and to hear and to challenge, is probably the real threat to other parties in the run-up to the election, especially those who can't even get enough members to fill a hall for their annual conferences. And I quote again from last week's Herald, which stated, if any spies from Labour, Green or Māori parties infiltrated yesterday's internet mana rally in West Auckland, they would have come away with very worried looks on their faces.
The member's time has expired.
Te ora.
Honourable Peter Dunn.
Mr Speaker, may I begin by congratulating you on the way you have